The average Australian family will spend anywhere from $35,000 to $85,000 on a new or used sport utility vehicle, expecting it to handle the school run, weekend camping trips, and endless summer heat waves. They load up the boot, hit the highway, and act completely shocked when the continuously variable transmission grenades itself at 85,000 kilometers, just months out of warranty. That is not bad luck. That is the automotive business model. Today, we are ripping the badges off the cars sitting on Australian dealership lots right now. We are going to expose the 5 worst sport utility vehicles that will drain your bank account, and the 7 best options that will actually survive the harsh reality of Aussie driving. If you want to understand why cars die here, you have to understand the Australian environment. We are not driving in mild European climates. Our cars face brutal thermal cycling. A car in Melbourne might bake in 43-degree summer heat, expanding every plastic housing and rubber seal, and then face sub-zero frosty mornings in the high country. And then there are the roads. Our regional highways are notorious for corrugations, massive potholes, and endless stretches of rough chip seal that vibrate cheap suspension components to pieces. When a European luxury vehicle throws a suspension fault in rural New South Wales, you are not just looking at a massive bill, you are looking at a 3-week wait for parts shipped from Germany. Australian consumers assume a 5-year warranty printed on a glossy brochure is a shield. What it actually is a legal document defining exactly what the manufacturer considers normal wear and tear. The warranty is written by the very same people who engineered the failure points. Let us get into the rankings. The 5 worst sport utility vehicles you can buy in Australia. Worst number 5, MG current generation. MG is selling cars by the absolute boatload in Australia right now, largely because they are some of the cheapest new cars on the market. But the MG ZS represents the ultimate false economy. While the price tag is tempting, the ownership experience quickly sours. The underlying powertrain engineering and software integration are heavily compromised to hit that budget price point. Owners frequently complain about the laggy, unrefined transmission that struggles to find the right gear when pulling into Australian highway traffic. Worse, the electronics and safety systems are notoriously temperamental. The speed sign recognition and lane keep assist systems have been widely criticized by reviewers as being hypersensitive and erratic, aggressively pinging at phantom speed signs and intervening unpredictably. You save $10,000 at the dealership, but you pay for it every single day in driving frustration and potential long-term electrical gremlins. It looks like a bargain. It drives like a beta test. Worst number 4, Nissan X-Trail, previous generation. The Nissan X-Trail has been a staple in Australian driveways, but the models equipped with Nissan's continuously variable transmission are a ticking financial time bomb. This transmission relies on a steel belt and a pulley system. Under Australian driving conditions, especially if you are towing a camper trailer or heavily loading the car for a summer road trip, these transmissions are highly prone to overheating. The factory transmission coolers are often inadequate for Queensland or Western Australia heat. When the fluid overheats, the internal components suffer terminal wear. The symptoms start with a shudder on acceleration and escalate to a complete loss of drive. When it fails, it usually cannot be cheaply repaired, it must be replaced. You are looking at a bill well north of $5,000. Nissan sold the dream of smooth, fuel-efficient family touring. But the reality is a transmission that cannot handle the Australian lifestyle. Worst number 3, Volkswagen Tiguan, 2017 to present. The Tiguan is wildly popular in Australia. It feels premium, it handles beautifully, and the interior puts Japanese rivals to shame. But under the bonnet sits a 2-litre turbocharged direct injection engine that is going to cost you. Because it uses direct injection, fuel is sprayed directly into the cylinder, meaning no fuel washes over the back of the intake valves to clean them. Over time, heavy carbon buildup chokes the engine, causing rough idling, misfires, and a drastic loss of power. To fix this, mechanics have to perform a walnut blasting service to physically scrub the carbon off the valves. This is not a warranty item. It is considered maintenance, and it will cost you hundreds of dollars. Add to that the strict, expensive servicing requirements for the dual-clutch transmission and European parts pricing that punishes Aussie buyers, and the Tiggan goes from a premium family car to a massive financial liability the moment the warranty expires. Worst number 2. Jeep Grand Cherokee, 2011 to 2021. The Jeep Grand Cherokee looks incredible and promises rugged American off-road capability. But its reliability record in Australia is legendary for all the wrong reasons. The Grand Cherokee has been plagued by a staggering number of recalls over its lifespan, covering everything from dangerous gear selector software to critical electrical faults. Mechanics loathe working on them. Spare parts pricing in Australia is borderline extortionate. Owners have reported being quoted over $4,000 just for a replacement tailshaft. Then there are the electrical gremlins that leave owners stranded, and transmission issues that have frustrated drivers for years. You buy it because you want to conquer the outback, but the ownership reality often involves fighting with the dealership service department while waiting for back-ordered parts to arrive from the United States. Worst number 1, Land Rover Range Rover Sport. If you want to look wealthy in the school pickup line in Sydney's eastern suburbs, you buy a Range Rover Sport. If you actually want to stay wealthy, you buy something else. The Range Rover Sport's long-term reliability is abysmal. The primary catastrophic failure point is the complex air suspension system. When those air struts fail, and they frequently do, replacing just the front units can cost between $1,500 and $2,500. Furthermore, the electronic architecture is so heavily proprietary that independent Aussie mechanics often cannot diagnose faults without expensive, brand-specific software. You are effectively held hostage by the dealership network. The depreciation curve is brutal. The second owner buys it cheap, only to discover that the repair bills cost more than the car is worth. It is an aesthetic masterpiece and an engineering disaster. The 7 best sport utility vehicles you can buy in Australia. Best number 7. Subaru Forester, naturally aspirated. The Subaru Forester will not win any beauty contests, but it will get you to the ski fields and back without a single complaint. The key here is buying the standard, naturally aspirated 2.5-litre engine, avoiding the complexities of the older turbocharged models. Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system is not an afterthought. It is arguably the best full-time system in its class, providing genuine surety on wet Aussie roads and loose gravel tracks. It is boxy, highly practical, and has excellent visibility. Moreover, the independent mechanic network for Subarus in Australia is massive. If something does break, parts are accessible, and mechanics know exactly how to fix it. It is stubbornly, brilliantly practical. Best number 6. Honda CR-V, pre-2017. The 4th generation Honda CR-V, built up to 2017, features Honda's naturally aspirated 2.4-litre engine, the legendary K24. This engine is one of the most bulletproof power plants ever mass-produced. It does not use finicky cylinder deactivation, it does not have a turbocharger, and it does not suffer from oil dilution issues that plagued some of the later turbo models. If you find a pre-2017 CR-V with a documented service history, buy it. With basic oil changes, that engine will easily surpass 200,000 kilometers without skipping a beat. It is not exciting to drive, but zero-stress ownership is a very specific kind of luxury. Best number 5, Mazda CX-5, non-turbo. The Mazda CX-5 is the smartest purchase in the mid-size segment right now. While competitors rush to bolt turbochargers onto tiny engines, Mazda stuck to their guns with the naturally aspirated Skyactiv 2.5-litre engine, paired with a traditional, conventional 6-speed automatic transmission. No sluggish, continuously variable transmissions, no fragile dual-clutch gearboxes, and no direct injection carbon nightmares. The interior finish rivals European luxury cars, but the mechanicals are strictly Japanese reliability. The drivetrain is smooth, proven, and incredibly robust. It is the perfect balance of premium feel and long-term financial safety. Best number 4, Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Wait, did we not just warn against powertrain complexity? Yes, but Toyota's hybrid system is the exception to the rule. Toyota has been perfecting this specific hybrid architecture for nearly 3 decades. The RAV4 hybrid pairs a naturally aspirated engine with electric motors, and the battery packs are engineered for incredible longevity. In Australia, Toyota backs the hybrid battery with up to a 10-year or 160,000-kilometre warranty if serviced annually. Furthermore, the hybrid system eliminates traditional failure points like the alternator and the starter motor. It delivers genuine fuel savings, crucial as Aussie petrol prices skyrocket without sacrificing long-term reliability. There is a reason there is a massive waiting list for these cars. Best number 3, Isuzu MU-X. If you need a 4x4 to tow a caravan around Australia, you need the Isuzu MU-X. Based on the D-Max Ute chassis, the MU-X uses Isuzu's legendary 3-litre turbo diesel engine. This engine was derived from Isuzu's light truck division. It is heavily over-engineered, under-stressed, and built to survive the absolute worst punishment the Australian outback can dish out. It does not have the refinement of a luxury car, but it has the structural integrity of a commercial truck. If you are doing the big lap of Australia, you want the vehicle that rural diesel mechanics actually know how to fix, using an engine block that refuses to die. Best number 2, Toyota Land Cruiser Prado 150 series. Before the brand new 250 series arrived, the outgoing 150 series Prado was the undisputed king of the Australian suburbs and the outback. Yes, it is ancient. Yes, the infotainment system feels like an ATM from 2012. But the 2.8-litre turbo diesel engine and the heavy-duty body-on-frame construction offer a level of durability that unibody crossovers simply cannot comprehend. The Prado holds its resale value in Australia so fiercely that buying one used barely saves you money. That is not a negative, that is the market mathematically proving its worth. It will conquer Fraser Island on Saturday and do the school run on Monday for 15 years straight. Best number 1, Toyota Land Cruiser 200 series. The 200 series Land Cruiser, sold until 2021, is the ultimate Australian survival vehicle, powered by the twin-turbo 4.5-litre diesel V8. This vehicle was engineered with a very specific design brief. It cannot fail, because in remote Australia, vehicle failure is a life-threatening event. Mining companies, aid organisations and outback contractors use the Land Cruiser because the suspension is indestructible, the engine is a powerhouse, and the body resists the harshest elements on Earth. You will pay a massive premium to buy a used one today, but a vehicle that hits 350,000 kilometers with basic maintenance is infinitely cheaper in the long run than a European luxury car that requires a new engine at 100,000 kilometers. It is the pinnacle of automotive integrity. Before you sign a contract for a new car, you need to ask 3 non-negotiable questions. Question 1. Is the engine a small capacity turbo with direct injection? If yes, you must budget for future carbon cleaning and potential turbo wear. Do not let the salesperson convince you otherwise. Question 2. What type of transmission does it have? If it is a continuously variable transmission, ask specifically about heat management and towing capacities. If it is a dual clutch, ask for the exact cost of the mandatory fluid services. If it is a traditional torque converter automatic, you are generally in safer territory. Question 3. What does the warranty explicitly exclude? Do not look at the bold 7-year warranty sticker on the windshield. Read the fine print. Does it cover the infotainment screen after 3 years? Are the complex air suspension struts considered wear and tear items? The monthly repayment is not the cost of the car. The repayment, plus the inevitable repair bills, plus the brutal depreciation curve. That is the true cost of your car. If this video saved you from making a catastrophic financial mistake at the dealership, tap the like button. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week we are exposing the massive insurance loopholes Australian companies are using to underpay you when your car is written off. You do not want to miss it. Drop a comment below. What car are you driving right now and what broke first? I read every single one. By Smart Australia.